Yo, what's going on, guys? I, of course, am Dr. P. Welcome back to another video right here on the channel. Now, in this one, we're going to be going over a storyline update that I want to give you guys. It looks like we may be onto something here. Very positive results. We're going to go over a pretty insane theory and also go over some news for Christmas skins. Even more, yes, more Christmas skins coming to Fortnite. So drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are brand new around here. Just to remind you, I'm uploading daily Fortnite content covering news, information, storyline updates, and so much more. You definitely want to be sticking around. Season 7 is going to have so much stuff to go over. I have a feeling this could be the best season yet. I just have that really weird feeling we're going to be in for a pleasant surprise. We've already had some good updates, some good things happen. I want to give a shout out to some of you guys who have been supporting me with the Support a Creator code recently. These are people who have just tweeted me screenshots. Make sure to use my code when buying any skins. Right now, the Nog Ops and the Yuletide Ranger are still in the shop, 2 Christmas skins, so I'd recommend buying them. They're pretty cheap too, only 800 V-Bucks. Shout out to you guys for supporting me. Make sure to use my code, and with that said, let's get into it. So I want to take a second and look back at A.I.M and see, what he might be. Let's take a look at everything we know about him. So here's A.I.M. He's obviously a robot, or at least so we think. More on that later. But he was dropped onto the island at Flush Factory, which is no longer a spot anymore, but he was dropped at the spot formerly known as Flush Factory. And then we're not too sure what he did exactly, but it looked like he was just walking around the island, going to various places and just observing what was going on. He wasn't doing anything, and he remained completely stealthy, like in the shadows, out of sight, but he was just going around to various spots and looking at the map, observing people. Kind of stalkish if you ask me, but one thing's for sure, there's definitely an attachment between, the iceberg and the snow area that's now in the map and A.I.M. A.I.M, if you'll remember, had ice on his hands and on his feet, and people were thinking right as soon as he came out that, okay, the next season could be snowy. This could be a sign of snow. Sure enough, it was. And based on everything we know, we can reasonably assume that A.I.M was sent or somehow originated from the iceberg several weeks before it was ever even close to hitting the Fortnite map. I'm not sure what his reasoning for coming was. Was he trying to warn everyone about the incoming storm and the incoming iceberg? I don't think so, because if he was, he would have told someone. He would have done something to get some attention instead of spending several weeks just standing out in the shadows, lurking and just staring at people. Was he simply a robot designed and sent here to be a scout? 95% of the area that he covered actually ended up becoming a part of the snowstorm or the snow area, Flush Factory, Yonder Yards, and even Tilted. So it's also possible that he was simply here to scout out the areas that would become future sites of snow, because when the iceberg got here, if you'll recall, the people that were actually in the trailer on the Season 7 trailer, they immediately started to attack. So it's not like they got there and they were stunned to see people. No, they knew what they were doing. They immediately went on the offensive. So now I want to relate everything I just talked to you about regarding A.I.M to another skin here that we got with the Battle Pass, and it's called Zenith. Now, obviously, you have to upgrade him, but his final form, when he's fully upgraded, looks a little something like this. He's on the right, and the thing that sticks out to me about him personally, I don't know about you guys, but to me, his mask there looks so much like A.I.M's mask. Now, at first, I thought it was exactly the same. I looked, and no, it's not exactly the same. A.I.M's visor there is a little more curved, while Zenith's is pretty much straight. But regardless, they look super similar, almost the same stuff exactly. And I'm wondering if it's by coincidence or not that they have similar visors. I mean, if they are both from the iceberg, it would make sense that they, would have similar masks like that. But the thing, when I started thinking about that struck me was, okay, so we know Zenith is not a robot because his first few forms are him as a human. You can see that. And then when he puts on that mask, you can't tell if he's a human or not. You might even guess he's a robot based on just his visor. So with that in mind, that kind of makes me question whether or not A.I.M is even a robot at all. I mean, it could very easily be the same situation as Zenith, where he's just got a mask on, and yeah, people might say, but his body looks a little bit more like a robot. that's true, and I'm not saying that it's unlikely that he's not a robot. I'm just saying it raises questions. You know what I mean? When they have similar masks and one is a human and one, at least we think, is a robot, it just opens the door for questioning. That's all I'm saying. Let me know what you guys think about that. I'm definitely very curious to hear your guys' feedback. We know that the people who were on the iceberg were invading, right? And we can also assume that Zenith, who is a Snow character, is a part of the gang that came with the iceberg. Zenith and A.I.M have extremely similar masks, yet the only difference is we know for sure that Zenith is a human. We don't know that about A.I.M. Now, if you'll recall, in the files for Season 7, we talked about this a couple days ago, it was leaked that there was going to be some kind of an invasion on Tilted Towers, an invasion on the map involving a lot of robots. Could this be what it is? All of the people on the iceberg who put on these masks that make them look like they're robots even though they're actually not, invading? Could that what the files mean or refer to when they say robot invasion? I don't know, it's just some food for thought. I think it's really interesting to think about for sure. We already know, it's basically confirmed that the iceberg is going to have several different phases of melting. It's going to start melting and revealing a lot more of the map. And, you know, an iceberg is big, man. An iceberg is literally so huge, especially the one that's on the map. At least in terms of relativity, if that were in real life, man, that's a huge iceberg. And ice is water when melted, so I had the question raised to me on Twitter, what happens when that iceberg melts? Is it just going to literally completely flood the area? I mean, I don't know, but that's just a lot of water, and it's got to go somewhere, especially when it's getting melted at such a rapid pace. So there's definitely the possibility of flooding. Now, I've also had the question raised to me that if the iceberg is melting, wouldn't that mean possibly that the ice that is basically completely covering up Greasy Grove is going to melt too? That's also a very good question. It seems like that would kind of go hand in hand. If one thing is melting, then everything should melt. That's just the way it goes. So it's very possible that we could see maybe a flood and even the return of Greasy Grove, maybe incrementally, you know, as the iceberg melts every stage, with every passing stage, Greasy Grove could get revealed a little bit more too. Personally, Greasy Grove was my favorite, #1 overall favorite landing spot, so I was kind of salty when I saw that they basically completely froze it up, and I would like to see it come back. You know, it's not a super big deal, but if Greasy could come back, I would be all for it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. As you guys know, we had some Christmas skins come back yesterday, and we have exciting news from FBR_news on Twitter. He says Merry Marauder and Ginger Gunner are officially a set called the Gingerbread Set. This confirms they will come back with new gliders, new pickaxes, and new back blings. We know this thanks to the description of the loading screen of the Battle Pass on Tier 12. So there you have it. It looks like they're going to be sets. I'm very excited about this, and I'm very excited to see what kind of other cosmetics they include with the purchase of the Christmas skins this time. It looks like they're going to have unique pets. I believe that was the leak from yesterday. Gliders, pickaxes, maybe even emotes. There's so much they could do with this, and I think they could capitalize really hard on. Guys, make sure to drop a like on this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications if you love Fortnite, because if you love it as much as I do, you're going to want to be notified ASAP, and that's exactly what I do right here on the channel. I got you covered for all things Fortnite. Make sure to tap that subscribe button and become a part of the Fruit Faction, part of the team today. Make sure to follow me on Twitter as well. It is exactly my YouTube name without a space. I am always interacting with you guys over there, and it is the #1 way to get in contact with me, to ask me a question. If you want to share a Fortnite storyline theory or whatever, that's the way to do it. Not to say the comments are a bad way, it's just Twitter is a better way. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed. I really hope you did. I'll catch you in the next one, and until then, take it easy. Peace out, guys. Hope you're enjoying Season 7.